Toxic empathy would have you, after I had my daughter with that man, I, he, when I pushed her out, he said that she wasn't his. In front of the doctors, my mother, my doula, the nurses. And our daughter looks just like him. He just wanted to irritate me and be an asshole because that's what he is. And I still stay with him. And while I was in the hospital, I wanted to have my baby earlier because I was so worried about what he was doing. So they got me to 36 weeks, and I had her so that I could... No, that's not what happened. That's not what happened. I'm like, that sounds terrible. No. They got me to 36 weeks and said I could have her, so I did. And then when I got out the hospital, they said I could stay up there with her so that I could be there. And I said I needed to go home with my kids. And that wasn't it. I was worried about him and seeing what he was doing. And which was nothing but the same thing he was always doing. And then one time we got into an argument and I didn't have a car and he did, which was rare because I always had a car. And he dropped me and my kids on the side of the highway. And this lady in a van picked us up and took us home. And I will forever be grateful for her. Because we were like at least 2-3 exits away from my house. And he cheated on me the whole time we was together. He lied about it the whole time we was together. He talked about my family, my friends, everybody like they was worse than him, and he was the worst. And I had that toxic empathy and was like, I'm loyal, I'm trustworthy, I'm better than him. I'm gonna do what's right and be there because that's what you're supposed to do. And I thought because I loved him that I was supposed to be there. And I had a counselor tell me one time, just because you love someone doesn't mean you have to be with them. And it was like a light went off. I was like, you mean that I ain't got to be in this relationship with him because I love him? And I don't know where I got that from. And I probably left him immediately after that, but I probably got back with him too. But still, I was like, I'm out. And I had another counselor tell me he's like a jackpot. No, he's like a slot machine. You keep putting money in, you keep putting it in and putting it in and putting it in, and you're getting nothing out. Where every now and then you get a jackpot and you feel good, and then you just keep putting your money back in and putting it in and putting it in, and then nothing. And she was right. And that's that toxic empathy. Wanting to just be a good person and have his back. Because I wanted him to, I saw the good in him. And I knew that he could be a better person one day. And that we will, And he would be the man for me, even though every day he was showing me he was not the man for me. Every day. And I would make excuses and change my behavior for him. And deal with things. Like knowing he had other women and still being with him. But at one point he knew that he couldn't do too much to me. So then he started to be sneaky with his diss and his emotional and mental abuse. And he would just push buttons and trigger me, and when I wasn't doing what he thought I should be doing, because he thought he was the man and he knew better, but I was the one that was working hard, had my own house, had my car, and he was struggling to do just that, or didn't want to because he could save his money and live with somebody else. That's probably what it was. But yeah, he wanted to run my house and tell me how to live. And I was like, I ain't working this hard for you to be trying to run me and run my house and my kids. Nope, not at all. And that pissed him off. That really made him mad. He was like, it's your way or the highway. And I'm like, it's your way or the highway. And I stayed. Until one day he got cocky and started doing his dirt in my face. And then I was like, oh, no. No, we're not doing this. And that's when it was over. And I prayed to God and I said, God, I don't want to love this man no more. No more. And after that, it got easier and easier to not love him. Not find reasons to be with him or reasons why I was wrong and he was not. And that was it. And in the end, I had so much trauma from him in that relationship. I still do. I can watch women on other shows talk about their abuse, and it's like it happened yesterday. I understand everything that they went through. Everything. When they say they are scared and they're looking out the windows because they are because the person is obsessed with them, and the person is calling all their friends and family and looking for them, and they're scared, and how they'll come out their job and they're waiting out there for them, or and you always have to look over your shoulder, like somebody, because they stalking you, and just making your life miserable. I feel every bit of it. Or like when I was watching this show, this lady was talking about how her husband would convince her that she was wrong with everything, and I was like, wow. It was like, that's what I went through. He was lying so much. That's the thing. He was a compulsive liar. Like, everything was a lie. Everything. And the lady was saying her husband was a liar, and he just could convince her that she was wrong with everything. And I was like, wow, that was me. That's that toxic empathy. Want to empathize with the person and be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, say whatever just so you think that they gonna stop acting a fool, or they gonna be a better person, or that they gonna, say what they, mean what they say when they never do,